Hello, random people on the internet. My name is Banished IQ. Now, before we get started, if you like or dislike the video, it would be great to get some constructive criticism in the comments below, since this is my first time making a full-length video where I'm talking like this. Remember, this is my opinion, y'all have your own, so be respectful. Thank you, and enjoy what I have to talk about. Harbor, Raja of the Sea, some might say. Bro got a rework recently, and for the most part, it looks like he was changed for the better. Like, bro, come on! It took 2 years for any major rework. Now that the wait is over, I want to give my hot take and personal opinion on the dude. He's buns. Not actually, but at least to me, he feels a little bit underpowered. When making this video, it's been a little over 2 weeks since Harbor's been reworked, so I have a little better view of him now than I did before. Although, my thoughts have barely changed. Let's take a look at his abilities. I don't want to baby y'all since you probably know what he does already, so I'm just giving like a 2-sentence description on each ability. Sound good? Okay, good. His first ability is Storm Surge, and it replaces his High Tide. It's a grenade that nearsights enemies and teammates. The pros about this ability is that it finally gets rid of Harbor's entire kit being smokes. Another thing that not many abilities have is a near sight, which makes him a little more appealing compared to other agents. The negatives. Oh my, there is quite a few that I have a nitpick for. My first reason is that the near sight only lasts 2 seconds. Like, I get it. The patch before nerfed everyone and bring everyone in line. But let me give you an example. Fade's Prowler. It has 3 seconds of the near sight effect on enemies, and gives information while also being a good pair with other abilities. This isn't one-to-one, of course, because initiators don't equal controllers, but come on. They made stuns and most of the flashes in line with the rest of the other agents. Like, come on. They can't do this. Even Omen's Paranoia is 2.5 seconds after the nerfs. But Banished, Harbor also has a slow effect with his ability. Yeah, for only half a second. Look at this. Look at it. Look at it. Okay, now moving on to the High Tide. There's nothing actually inherently wrong with the High Tide, although it could have stayed the signature ability, but I'm not upset about it. One thing that remains and is in common with the Storm Surge is that it affects allies. Like, I get it. Some abilities will affect teammates to kind of like punish misplaced utility. But, okay, really? Slowing your team by walking through a smoke is just bad game design. You know what is irritating? The fact that his slow on the wall is longer than the actual grenade. This should not be a thing. That slow should be switched at the very least. But knowing Riot, that's not going to change. Next, we got his Cove. That is literally just a copy and paste of Omen Smoke. Not much wrong here, but I don't know why they wanted to use Harbor as a way to compete with Omen when he was very clearly trying to fight Viper's pick rate. This change is giving Harbor versatility with the smokes now, which is actually a nice change. I don't deny that the Cove was kind of useless before. It's overall actually fair. You can activate the shield within 15 seconds of the smoke being placed, and the entire smoke breaks when the shield is destroyed. I see no problems with that. The fact that there's only one Cove every 40 seconds is balanced, but I'm not sure. I just don't like the fact that I gotta use the Cascade as well, since there's only one Cove to smoke. But when you look at it, other than Brimstone, every other controller can place 2 smokes without a cooldown. And you can technically place 2 smokes at the same time, if you get my gist. Finally, we got the ultimate, Reckoning. It's a complete rework, basically taking the Cascade and fattens it up And like how a breach sends his ultimate, it's like a tsunami that nearsights enemies and teammates. Now, I don't know how to feel about this. It just feels a little unnecessary because the ult before was actually not that bad. It kept enemies on their feet, it rewards you information if no one or someone gets stunned by it, and it doesn't affect your teammates mostly. Don't get me wrong, the ult now is pretty cool. It's like a tsunami, and the other ult was just a little boring, but it doesn't feel that useful to me. Keyword feel. When you get hit by the ultimate, it nearsights and slows, barely. But again, like the Storm Surge, the nearsight doesn't last that long. It only lasts 3 seconds. In some cases, that isn't the biggest problem. But when they did the huge balancing patch to all the agents, nearsight got nerfed to like 1.5x the range of visibility. With that as a downside, it doesn't feel like that ult would make much of an impact by pushing a sight. Sure, they're deafened, but it doesn't feel that strong when everyone is uncoordinated. Again, it only lasts 3 seconds when hit, which is at the same time as a Fade Prowler, an ability. For an ultimate, that effect Harbor has should last a little longer than that at the very least. Okay, that's the rant about the abilities after patch 11.10. But I'm not done yet. There's something else I want to talk about. What should they actually have done instead of what they already did? I'm somewhat happy with what they changed, but I feel like in order to make him more of a unique agent, while giving him more versatility with this kit, this is what they could have done. Just gonna say here, what I'm gonna talk about, it doesn't really matter what abilities he has from the old or new patch. I just think this would benefit Harbor in more ways than one. What the devs could have actually done is give Harbor a type of fuel system. Not the same as Viper's, but one that will suit his kit more. This is my idea, hopefully. So he starts off at 100% of fuel each round. Each time he wants to use an ability, minus the ultimate, it takes a certain amount of fuel from his charge. Let's say, for simplicity's sake, he has 1 Storm Surge, 1 High Tide, 1 Cove, and each of them costs 25% of the fuel. He can use each charge at least once. But like Astra, each time he uses one ability, it goes on a cooldown. Then another charge of the ability recharges. This gives Harbor the opportunity to use an ability more than once per round. There are loopholes like, what if Harbor only uses one ability 4 times in a row and completely neglects the other abilities? Well, my answer to that is scale the cost of the ability more than once depending on how many charges he has. So for example, if the High Tide costs 25% of the fuel, then the next time he uses it, it'll take 50% of the fuel. So you can use abilities more than once, but it leaves you with the choice to use the Cove or the Storm Surge next. For the ultimate, I think when he uses it, it refuels some or all of the bar depending on how much you used it previously. Editor banished here. So what actually should happen is if an enemy gets hit by the ultimate, it should give him a certain amount of fuel. So if it scales, if 5 enemies get hit, 50% will get filled up from his bar, so then he can use more of his abilities. Or it could be like 25% per enemy hits, max 3 people. Either one could work. I'm just throwing out options here. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. This enables Harbor to potentially use an ability for a 3rd time, or just be able to use all of his abilities and then some. Me personally, if you don't keep whatever Harbor was from this patch and add this, I think it would have made Harbor extremely versatile and really gets you thinking about what your next moves will be. Yes, thank you for the creative mind. If you know, you know. I think overall what I talked about are some of the pros and the flaws of Harbor after his rework, and my own personal opinion on what they could do to change it. I'll be so real, the accumulation of some of these ideas have been from other people and potentially other creators, and This is the only one I can remember. Thanking Man Valorant. I have to give him credit for that at least. Because this is what inspired me to make this video in the first place. Well, that and, Riki Tiki 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 Tow! Thank you for watching the video the whole way through. If you actually enjoyed this, it would be very, very nice if you could leave feedback in the comments on how the video was. Even if you didn't like it, I need all the opinions I can get. Thank you for watching all the way through, and maybe, just maybe, I'll see you again next time. Goodbye!